Okay, let's dive right into a story that's really developing and sparking a lot of conversation. We're talking about the recent arrest of Congresswoman LaMonica McIver from New Jersey.
Yes, and it all centers around these charges brought by acting U.S. Attorney Alina Habba.
What exactly are the charges?
The official charges are assaulting, impeding, and interfering with law enforcement.
Hmm.
And these stem from an incident earlier this month at the Delaney Hall ICE detention facility in New Jersey.
Right, Delaney Hall. And she wasn't alone, was she?
No, Congresswoman McIver was there with two other New Jersey congressional members. They were reportedly there to conduct an inspection, part of their oversight duty.
Oversight, yeah, which is, well, a fundamental part of their job.
Exactly. And interestingly, Newark Mayor Ross Baraka was also arrested during that same visit.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But the charges against him, Mayor Baraka, those have actually been dropped since then.
Okay, so charges dropped for the mayor, but not for the congresswoman.
Correct.
So you have a sitting congresswoman charged for actions during an oversight visit. That definitely raises some eyebrows immediately.
It absolutely does. And the reaction has been pretty strong from some people. Senator Chris Murphy, for instance, he came out very forcefully.
What did he say?
He stated quite clearly he believes that this was a political arrest, pure and simple. He even mentioned having watched the tape and framed it as an attempt to punish members of Congress.
Punish them for what, specifically?
For doing oversight, specifically oversight related to what he called Trump's illegality.
That's a serious claim from a senator, accusing the prosecution of political motives.
A very significant accusation. It points towards potential prosecutorial overreach.
Yeah, and it really highlights that potential friction, doesn't it, between Congress doing its job, oversight, and law enforcement doing theirs.
Precisely. But, as you'd expect, there's another side to this story emerging.
Okay, so what's the counter-narrative?
Well, particularly from corners more aligned with, say, Maggi viewpoints, a very different story took shape almost immediately. This version claims that there's ICE body camera footage.
Body cam footage, right?
Yes, and that this footage clearly shows Congresswoman McIver being aggressive, specifically shoving DHS agents.
Shoving agents, wow.
That's the claim. And even mentions of her sort of screaming in their faces. It paints a picture that's starkly different from just a routine inspection.
That is a completely different picture. And we saw some social media activity around this supposed footage, too.
We did. Charlie Kirk posted about it, referencing this alleged body cam video. He suggested that Democrats were trying to keep it hidden, implying it would prove the charges against McIver were valid.
So the implication being the footage is damning and justifies the arrest, undermining the political arrest claims.
That seems to be the suggestion, yes. And then adding another layer.
Go on.
The House Judiciary GOP's official account, they shared a video.
Okay, they shared the body cam footage.
No, that's the interesting part. They specifically said it was from a different vantage point, not the body cam footage Kirk and others were talking about.
A different vantage point. And what was their take on it?
Well, the caption was quite pointed. Something like, Democrats don't want you to see them attacking law enforcement. Please don't share this video.
Ah, the old please don't share tactic.
Right, a bit of reverse psychology, perhaps. But it definitely aims to frame the narrative and also confirms there's, well, more than one recording of whatever happened.
Which just throws us right into the complexities of interpreting video evidence, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
I mean, we've seen this so many times. You mentioned January 6th earlier. People watch the exact same video clip.
And come away with completely different conclusions.
Exactly. What one person sees as a clear assault, someone else sees as, I don't know, incidental contact or even self-defense, depending on their viewpoint.
It's such a critical point. Without seeing all the footage, the full context, what happened before, the environment, what was said, it's just incredibly hard to know for sure from isolated clips.
Or from secondhand accounts describing footage maybe they haven't even seen themselves.
Right. And the fact that we have these claims about body cam footage, plus this other video from a different vantage point, it just highlights how easily things can be selectively edited or framed.
To shape how people see it, yeah.
Definitely.
So really what we're looking at here is this fundamental tension between Congress's constitutional duty to oversee government agencies like ICE and the authority of law enforcement to maintain security and order within those places.
Right. And when those two things collide, especially now, with everything so politically charged,
the fallout can be pretty significant for everyone involved and for the bigger political picture.
It really forces you to ask, where is the line? What's legitimate oversight and what crosses into unlawful interference or assault in that kind of situation.
Yeah. Where are those lines drawn?
Precisely. So you've got a sitting congresswoman, serious charges tied directly to her official duties,
Then accusations of political motivation flying from one side?
and claims of clear misconduct, supposedly backed by video, from the other side.
And multiple videos potentially showing different things or at least framed differently.
It really complicates trying to understand what actually occurred.
Okay, so let's try to bring it all together for a moment. We have Congresswoman McIver's arrest,
The serious charges: assault, impeding, interfering with law enforcement.
the strong claims that this is purely political, an attempt to shut down oversight, Senator Murphy's comments.
Then the counter-arguments that she acted unlawfully, claims backed by alleged body cam footage, plus this other video released by the House Judiciary GOP.
These really conflicting interpretations, maybe even based on different pieces of visual evidence. That seems to be the crux of it right now.
It really is. And as you think about all this, it's worth considering just how powerful visual evidence is in these kinds of politically charged situations.
Yeah, how we react to seeing something versus just hearing about it.
Exactly. And how can different people, different groups, look at what seems like factual video footage and arrive at such wildly different conclusions?
It's a tough question.
It is. This whole incident, with its competing stories and these contested videos, it really just puts a spotlight on the challenges of getting to accountability, getting transparency, when politics are so polarized.
What does it tell us about how much our own perspective shapes what we see, even when we're looking at a video?
That's the question to really mull over, isn't it? The power of perspective and maybe the inherent subjectivity in how we interpret even supposedly objective images.